Okay, we're going to get started in this quick little workout, warm up, etc., to help your back feel good. So, the first move that we're going to go for is actually just standing. You're going to hinge forward so we can start to stretch up your hamstrings. So, inhaling arms up overhead, drawing your low belly in. Exhale, you're going to rain or swan dive down towards the floor. You can inhale, take a nice big half lift, find length through your spine, and exhale back down to your forward fold. And if the floor feels far away, perhaps having a block or something here on the floor, or grabbing hold of your opposite elbows as you just bend one knee and then the other. Elbows can even, if you need to, rest on your thighs for a little bit of support, but just the simple movement of bending one knee and then the other leg a couple times is going to help encourage your hamstrings to also relax, and sometimes hamstrings can also lead to the tight and tired back feeling. Just make sure you keep your low belly in. And another good thing here is to take the rounding out of the back. So a lot of times when people come into the forward fold, their upper back is a lot more in the cat version of cat cow. So pulling your chest down forward and through so you're looking at the floor between your feet as opposed to looking between your legs can also help. Okay, after a couple of those hamstring stretches, we're making our way down onto the floor into tabletop to simply enjoy some cat cow. You can spread between your fingers to take some stretching into the webbing of your fingers, and then find any cat cow that feels good for you. Every day is different, so some days maybe it's just rounding and flexing the spine. Maybe it's also a lot of shakes or shimmying of your hips, depending on where you're feeling tight. Like if it's in your hips low back, making some big circles in one or both directions. Maybe it's a little less working into the glutes, more into the center line, just sort of using your body like a jump rope right here. You can even use a timer. I really love to use the Gym Boss timer. It's free on your phone. That way you can have some music going that you enjoy, and also just taking about like 50 seconds to a minute for each of these two warm up moves. There's only two. Great. And then we're going to come back onto our hands for the first round of work. So treat yourself to a moment of coming off of your hands, making some circles, shaking things out. Okay, I'm going to quickly go grab a weight because I forgot to grab one. You don't have to use a weight for these exercises, but it can help. I have come back with some heavy weights because that's what I could quickly grab, but don't feel pressured to use something heavy. Even like a 3 or a 5 to get started, I do think you can probably push something a little heavier than that. But we're going to come back down on to our hands and knees and tabletop. So make sure you're not sinking into your chest and shoulders, really pushing into your hands, palms, shoulders away from your ears. Low belly tucked in, tucking your toes under. You have two different options to start working to engage your abs. Both are gently challenging. The easier of the two, though, is simply pressing up into bear. So low belly draws in really nice and tight, back is flat as you lift your knees up off of the floor to hover, and then relax and release your knees back down towards the floor. You're going to move and use your breath for the hardest part. So a little exhale to lift and hold, and an inhale to control and lower. Let's go ahead and get 4 more. Exhale, lift and hold, shoulders still away from your ears. Inhale, slowly lower. Exhale, press and hold, belly pulled in, back is flat. Inhale, slowly lower. Final 2. Now, if having your hands palms flat on the floor doesn't feel good for you, you can do the same exact move even with your hands on top of the weights, which can sometimes make wrists feel a little bit better, or even knuckles pressing down towards the floor. Final one, knees hovering as close as they can and then knees back down towards the mat. And you can take a moment and come off of your hands, shake it out. You can do more than one set, or you can go through the next 3 moves I wrote down. There's a total of 3, and repeat the circuit. If that initial bear was too easy for you, another option to work into engaging your abs, your core, everything working at once and stabilizing is doing a weight pass from your bear. So toes are still going to tuck under, shoulders away from your ears. You're going to press yourself up into that hover hold, knees close to the floor, and then grab hold of your weight, bring it behind your opposite wrist. If you need to, knees can tap down. Exhale, press yourself back up, shift from side to side, still working to get those knees hovering as close to the floor as possible. Eye gaze gently forward of your fingers so there's no tucking of your chin to your chest. So you have a nice flat back right there. That is exercise number 1, doing some sort of a dead bug hold and hover. Exercise number 2, doing a bear hold or hover, is dead bugs. Many different options for your dead bug. The easiest starts with your feet down on the floor. Shoulders relax away from your ears. Triceps compress into the mat. Perhaps you're just lifting one leg up and then with a 90-degree angle, returning that foot back towards the floor, lifting one leg up, returning that foot back to the floor. If your back and your abs are still really not feeling good, that's a great place to get started. Even just doing these dead bugs to slowly bring some activity back and decrease the pain. When you're ready for a little bit more, you're going to lift one leg up, the opposite leg comes to meet it, one leg goes down, opposite leg goes down. And I like to even switch and reverse out so I'm not constantly leading with the same leg for the motion. And for a move like this, you can either time yourself going for like 8 to 12 reps, or just go for about 40 seconds, 45 seconds, and then move on. When you're ready for more of the dead bug, we're going to start with the knees in reverse tabletop. And you can even bring a weight, maybe starting off with just one weight, so many different options, depending on how coordinated you're feeling. So you want to make sure that your low back presses down towards the floor, really finding that pressure of your low back down into your mat. And from here, you can either do same arm, same leg, perhaps with that 90-degree bending your leg still, so your low back stays firmly planted on the mat. Or if you can, leg can extend long as you don't feel that overarching happening in your back. If your weights are really heavy, option also includes bracing your weights together, bringing one arm up overhead, and when you're ready, also adding in the opposite leg. So either finding that tap of the toes down to the floor, we're working the back here with a lat pullover with those nice straight arms coming as close to the floor as you can. Ideally, heads of the dumbbell might even tap towards the floor, nice and quiet, either with legs bent or legs straight. You can even separate going for just your arms, finding bracing of low back to the floor, finding just your legs, maybe both legs together, maybe one at the same time. Maybe one at a time, or maybe both together. It's still early on a Monday, but mostly just giving you some demos and options of different ways that you can do this dead bug exercise, even working towards that nice long hollow hold of everything extending out nice and long. Go ahead, firmly plant your feet on the floor, relax your arms down by your side. I meant to even show you, before we went for those dead bugs, how you can do an activity called rolling the marble when you're down here on the floor to make sure that you're working from a neutral spine. Because it's really normal when you're doing ab work for that bridge to exacerbate behind your low back. So if you make a diamond with your fingers, you place that diamond around your belly button while you're firmly planting into your feet. You can use your breath, a nice big exhale, to tuck and peel your pelvis off of the floor such that a marble between your hands' palms would roll towards your thumbs. Take a full cycle of breath while you're lifted and tucking with your tailbone off of the mat. And then exhale, release your back down. On your next breath, you're going to want to roll the marble towards your fingers. So intentionally exacerbating that big bridge below your back. And then as you change your breath, release your back down towards the floor. Maybe one more time with that big tuck of only your hips and pelvis lifting, and then releasing it down to the ground. And then opposite direction, glutes press into the floor, a little shortening of the back as you find your bridge. And then you're in a complete neutral tabletop, low back firmly pressed down towards the mat. We can find our next move even from right here. So next we're gonna do a combo of a suitcase crunch, a big challenge into your upper abs, and a penguin tap to get into your obliques. So we're getting the whole four happening here in these few moves. All right, for your suitcase tap, you have two different options. If you're really feeling uncomfortable and you're not ready for the big crunch, we're gonna go for like a modified dead bug of just pressing your hands against your thighs to get your low abs to activate. Feet return down towards the floor, and then you're gonna reach and try and tap towards one heel, and then return your head towards the mat. So easier option, your head can stay down on the floor, legs lift up as you exhale, find pressure of hands, palms into your thighs. Inhale, feet return down towards the floor. Exhale, taking that side crunch towards the side. Inhale, returning. Exhale, legs lift, find pressure of hands against thighs. Inhale, feet back down towards the floor. Exhale, finding that side oblique crunch as you take a penguin tap towards your heels. If and when you're ready for more, we're going to keep our hands at our chest to begin with and go for a suitcase crunch. So as the legs lift up, just like they did for that modified dead bug, we're going to bring our elbows towards the thighs. It does not matter how many reps you get in, but the longer that you can stay up here on your exhale with your elbows tapping on your thighs, the more you're going to work your abs. And then inhale, slowly lower down, still finding that same exhale. Tap towards your heels. Inhale, shoulders come back down towards the floor. Exhale, that nice long hold as much as you can. Low belly pulled in, low back, press to the floor. Inhale, find feet releasing to the floor. Exhale, finding that side body crunch. I even like to do a double exhale when I go for that side body crunch so I can challenge myself to reach a little bit more. Inhale back, exhale, hold on your lift. Inhale down, maybe double exhale on that side oblique crunch. One more to each side, finding that shoulder, suitcase, front shoulders off of the mat, feet down to the floor, single or double exhale for your penguin tap, suitcase crunch, elbows to knees or hands to your thighs. Inhale back down towards the floor, finding that little double penguin tap. Great. When you finish, just taking a few moments, relaxing on the mat, even drawing your knees up towards your chest, massaging your low back with some gentle little circles of your knees. First in one direction, then bringing those gentle little knee circles in the opposite direction. So truly, I think just those three exercises, along with that big hamstring opener of a stretch, maybe practicing a rolling of the marble, is going to make a huge difference. If you're doing it at home on your own, I would start with that nice big standing, grounding, feet on the floor, taking your time to make your way down into your alternating bends of your knees. If you're feeling really good that day, maybe you crouch all the way down onto your toes, but mostly just this bending of your knees one direction and then the other, bringing your hands palms towards the floor, taking a couple of cat cows, finding some flexion and rounding in your spine. And then when you're ready, toes tucked under, using the exhale to find that little lift for your bear, working towards the idea of the bear while also doing the weight pass. Option to lower yourself down each time, then flipping on over to find your version of a dead bug. Before that dead bug, treat yourself to at least one roll of your marble in each direction. Find what it feels like when you're not moving with a neutral spine so you can really work towards that long flat back pressed against the mat. And the more that you press your hands against your thighs, even in a move like this, those abs are really going to be working. Doing the lat pullover with weights in your hands is just going to be a great opportunity to engage and activate the back a little bit more. And then working towards your suitcase crunch, feet down on the floor, single or double breath or those penguin taps. Awesome. Let me know if you have any questions. I will talk to you soon.